Yeah, Coach. Off to a 2-0 start. You had mentioned Bryson tells me you had mentioned at the after the Iona game that these two games were paired together, kind of put pressure on the crew. An NCAA tournament team is a good way to do that. How do you think they responded?
I thought that we came out the gates pretty good. Okay, I thought as the game went, our lack of chemistry on the offensive end was exposed, but we're going to get better with that. That's just having a lot of a lot more weapons offensively than I had since I sat in this seat, and so we'll get there. We'll get there. But I thought, overall we did well.
Speaking of, we'll get there. You knew I was going to ask about that weapons thing. And last year, listen, this early season, you and I do the Wayback Machine a little bit to tell the story for what's starting out, right? So
Okay, let's
tell
me.
This episode of the Wayback Machine is going to be a shoulder cut.
Yeah.
How much more controlled she looks playing basketball. How impressive is that? And how did she and you in working make that happen?
Oh, great question. Great question. So Shaw this summer, she worked with the guards. She didn't even work with the post. And did you guys see the move she made behind the back and finished in the first half? That was the most gratifying move I've seen her since I've coached her, right? She's always been solid for us, but her confidence with the ball handling skills have increased so much. And as a coach, that's all you want is your players to be happy and to see their skills increase and just see that they trust what you're telling them. And she showed that tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, did you guys hear me say we set the tone in the beginning? Shaw set the tone. She set the tone, her in the beginning of the game. And so she's been the glue. She's been the glue to this team. She's not about anything but, Coach, what can I do to help us win? And that attitude is what you want as a coach.
Well, Shoal got you started, then Emily finished it. She ended up getting a majority of the points in the fourth quarter. She was on the free throw line for only one for 95% of the game. How big is it to see a game like this out of a true freshman like her in her second game?
The good thing about Emily is she's a freshman, right? So hopefully we can keep her at UCF and have her for 4 years. But she I tell her that she has ice in her veins, and I love that. I am a player's coach, and I take pride in that. And so I encourage her, you have the shot, you feel confident, you take it. Because I know she's gotten in the gym and she's worked on it. And so that's part of us being excited about her and what she stepped up and did. Freshman led us in scoring, off the bench. And I'm proud of her, I am.
Sticking to that scoring theme, you said you've not had this many scores in your arsenal since you had 4 players with over 9 points tonight. What's it like when maybe KP's having an off night shooting that you have other players step up to?
Wow. Thank God. That's all I can say. It's been a long time, guys. I've earned that right.
Yes,
and so we're going to continue to just develop all of them, okay? This is a game that we're excited about because I know Marquette is a good team. Our players don't realize how well they're coached, how disciplined they are, how defensively they challenge you. And I know that we just beat a good team. Of course, we got improvements. We feel like that there's areas in the fourth quarter that we could have expanded the lead. The game, the score wasn't a dictator of the game to me because I thought that in the fourth quarter we could have expanded the lead better. But we'll get there. The good news is that you look at it when KP does, and I didn't think it was an off night. I think KP is learning that it's okay to have other people. And so when KP is, having those type of nights, it helps because I know what she can do. We know what she can do. That is the Big 12 leading scorer. So we're excited about that, and we want to keep them working. Yeah.
You faced a well-coached team that was playing their season opener tonight, while you and your team were on 48 hours rest after the last one. How would you say the team responded to such a quick turnaround?
Well, we intentionally scheduled it like that, okay? Because I know, again, Marquette, how well they are, how well they're coached. But I wanted to see how we're going to respond, who's going to step up. I mean, it's been a pressure 48 hours for us. And but I felt like they responded well, especially in the beginning. And we're going to go back and watch film tomorrow and get better in the fourth quarter.
Now, Coach, we always have that one moment after every game where I ask you, or at least I try to guess. I'm pretty sure the conversation you have in the next week going into Stetson is going to be turnovers and urgency with the pass. Am I on the right track there? Is breaking the press going to come
Good
up?
Lord. Are you in my locker room? Are you? Those were the keys to the game today. 2 of those. We had 4 keys, and those two were 2 of them. We got to, come on, turnovers. We got to get better at it, and we got to meet our pass and just break the press, bring it up, and let's go. But that comes with, having the new players we have, Shaw and Kai, of the 2, and the KP, those guys, and Kai comes off the bench. But we have 3 starters that haven't played with each other before. And we'll get there. I think the turnovers will improve once I can work on those and watch film and get them better.
The one I got to bring up, Kai, too, was the other person, much like a Shaw, who was getting pacing right, getting their poise right as a young player, comes in off the bench, hits those 2 big free throws.
Those were big free throws. Thank you. Okay, you really are in my locker room. Because I told Kai that after the game. That's what I told her. Those were great free throws. And I know Kai. Coaches know their players. I could tell the way she stepped to the ball, which is what you refer. The way she stepped to the ball and she absorbed the foul that she was going to knock down the free throws. And so I'm just excited for her, and I want her to know that was big time free throws. So.
Bryson, let me get one more real quick.
Yeah.
We mentioned drawing fouls too. We go from players who were fixing their pacing and were slowing down in a Shaw, and Kai, in particular, a Shaw, goes from where she might have been fouled out at some point, like in the mid-4th quarter, to now drawing almost as many fouls as she got in the game. What a turnaround. How big is that for the squad? How much did that actually impact this game?
It really impacted the game. It really did. And we've been intentional about telling them that, listen, hey, we got to keep you guys in the game, and especially a Shaw. A Shaw at one point last season led the nation in rebounding as a freshman, but I couldn't keep her out of foul trouble. Imagine if she would have gotten that experience. And so, hey, you can tell we've been in the gym with them this summer. We're trying to get them better. And if we just want to keep everyone positive, keep the team together, and we're going to be fine. Going to be fine. We are.
Early on in this one, you dominated once again in the paint, but in the 3rd quarter, you were able to stretch the lead with a couple of well-placed threes. How would you say more versatile this team is compared to last season's squad?
Well, first, I do think the team is totally different from last season because we have weapons, right? But there's a higher expectation from last season for us, But the team, from an offensive standpoint, is much better. Defensively, as you can tell, we've gotten better, and that's been a goal of ours. But I think we're a totally different team than we were a year ago, just because it's different players, and we've had now a full summer to recruit. That makes a big difference when you have time. And so we're getting the players in now. We just have to now get them to play together and keep this going because we have something special.
On the defensive end, you've said before you're a defensive coach. You like defense. You hold them under 33% shooting, 3 of 18 from 3. What do you like out of the defense?
Well, you know what? We were intentional about going under screens and seeing if Marquette could hit the 3 first. That was part of the game plan. And I thought our players did a good job of knowing the scout and being able to recognize what the plays they were going to do and those things. So we wanted to see if they could hit the 3 first. And I thought our players did a really good job of that. So defense is what we hang our hat on. So I'm excited that they were able to respond with 33%.
Last question.
Coach, I look at the calendar and I see the 16th as the next date of a game. What off the top of my head, because I forgot what day it was today, but like 9 days we'll call it.
Yeah.
That's an awful big time. Do you prefer that longer rest? Does that give you more time to work, or would you have, you have the back-to-back, or I shouldn't say back-to-back, the 2 games close together and then that big rest? Was that part of the plan to have that rest after these games, or?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we were able to, because like I said earlier, we have new players, guys. And so I wanted to be able to go in the film and room and work with our players and get them prepared and seeing there's so much we can improve on. I mean, the gap we gave in the 4th quarter, I was disappointed how we ended. the game. I thought that we could have done better, and so we're going to break down that film and get better with them. And so that was intentional. We got to get ready for Stetson. Stetson's a really good team, very well coached, and so it's not going to be an easy game at all. It is.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Coach, and best of luck.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Thank y'all for coming.
Thanks, Coach.